the two roads, one of pleasure, one of peace. Welcome to Rise and Shine. Every story we share is not just to improve your English, but also to make you pause, reflect, and grow. Today's story will ask you a simple but powerful question. Are you living for today's pleasures or tomorrow's security? Life gives us choices every day: how to spend, how to save, how to prepare. Some people chase instant joy and spend recklessly, while others think ahead, planting seeds for a stronger tomorrow. But which path is truly wise? This is the story of two friends, Antony and Tim. Both had dreams, both had chances, but their choices shaped their lives in very different ways. 5 years later, one had peace, the other had regret. And in the end, there was a lesson so strong, it could change how you see your own life. Let's begin their journey. Chapter 1. The Spark of Youth. Antony and Tim grew up together in the same small town. Both were bright, both were ambitious, and both wanted to live the good life. Yet, their habits were worlds apart. Antony was thoughtful. Whenever he earned money, from small jobs, gifts, or projects, he quietly set some aside. Small drops make the ocean, he would often remind himself. Tim, on the other hand, believed in living for the moment. If he had money in his pocket, it was gone by nightfall, spent on expensive shoes, flashy gadgets, or late-night parties. His favorite saying was, "Life is short, enjoy it now." One evening, the two sat on a park bench watching the sun sink behind the trees. "Antony," Tim laughed, holding up his brand-new phone, "look at this beauty. The best in the market. Worth every cent." Antony raised an eyebrow. "But you bought one just 6 months ago." Tim shrugged. "So what? You can't take money to the grave. Better to live like a king now." Antony smiled faintly, but said nothing. Deep down, he wondered if Tim's kingdom would last. Chapter 2. Two different roads. Years passed, and the contrast grew sharper. Antony lived modestly. He saved carefully, invested wisely, and learned discipline. His clothes were simple, his car old but reliable. He refused to buy what he didn't need. Friends sometimes teased him. "Come on, Antony, don't be so serious. Enjoy life a little." He would reply calmly, "I am enjoying life by securing my tomorrow." Tim, meanwhile, was the center of attention. He always had the latest watch, the fanciest car, the trendiest clothes. People admired his style and energy. Every weekend, his laughter filled expensive restaurants. But behind the glamour, something was missing. His savings account was empty. His credit card bills were heavy. Yet he ignored it, telling himself, "I'll figure it out later." One night, Antony visited Tim's apartment. It was grand, polished floors, glittering lights, and furniture imported from abroad. "Impressive," Antony said honestly. Tim laughed. "Now that's what I call living large." But Antony noticed the unpaid bills stacked on the table, silently waiting. Chapter 3. The Turning Point. 5 years slipped by like sand through fingers. Antony's steady habits bore fruit. He now owned a small but growing business. His savings gave him security. His family lived peacefully in a warm, welcoming home. There were no luxuries, but there was comfort, and most importantly, no fear of tomorrow. Tim's story was different. His once loud parties had faded. The flashy car had been sold to pay debts. His friends had disappeared the moment his wallet grew thin. He often sat alone, scrolling through social media, envying people who seemed happier. One rainy evening, Tim knocked on Antony's door. His clothes were wrinkled, his face pale. "Antony," he whispered, I need help. The bank is chasing me. I don't know what to do." Antony invited him in, offered him food, and listened. "Tim," Antony said gently, "I warned you before. Money is like a seed. If you waste it, it vanishes. If you plant it, it grows." Tears filled Tim's eyes. "I thought happiness was buying more. I never realized happiness was having peace." Chapter 4. The Hard Lesson. Tim's struggle was not just financial, it was emotional. Nights felt longer. Regret burned like fire. He remembered the countless chances he had to save, but laughed them away. Antony stood by him as a friend, but he didn't hand him easy money. Instead, he gave him advice. "Tim, I won't give you a fish. I'll teach you to fish. Start small. Save a little. Work with discipline. Rebuild your life. At first, Tim resisted. It's too late for me. But Antony replied firmly, it's never too late to plant a seed. Even the tallest tree started as a small drop of water and a grain of soil. Slowly, Tim changed. He cut down his expenses. He worked extra hours. He began saving coins in a jar, then dollars in the bank. The progress was small, but each step gave him hope. Chapter 5, A New Beginning. 2 more years passed. Tim wasn't rich, but he was stable. He had cleared many of his debts. He no longer cared about showing off or chasing trends. For the first time in his life, he slept peacefully. One evening, the 2 friends sat together again, just like the old days. Antony looked at Tim and smiled. You've changed. Tim nodded. I had to lose everything to learn that real wealth is not luxury. It's security, peace, and self-respect. Antony patted his shoulder. Remember, small drops make the vast ocean. Every dollar saved, every choice made wisely builds your tomorrow. Tim looked up at the stars. And I wasted years chasing shadows when I could have built light. The story of Antony and Tim is more than a tale of money. It is a lesson carved in time. It reminds us that our habits are silent architects of our destiny. Tim lived like a candle burning at both ends, bright for a while, but quickly consumed. His pleasures were loud, but his regrets became louder. Antony, on the other hand, lived like a farmer planting seed. Each coin saved was a seed of security, each sacrifice a root of strength. Years later, his patience blossomed into a forest of freedom. Remember this, small drops form mighty oceans, bricks build palaces, and daily discipline creates unshakable empires. What seems insignificant today becomes the shield of tomorrow. Money, when saved, becomes more than currency. It becomes protection against storms, a key to doors of opportunity, and a bridge to dignity. To spend recklessly is to dig a pit beneath your own feet. To save wisely is to climb a ladder towards stability, peace, and self-respect. And just like saving, learning English follows the same law. Every word you master is a coin in your vault of fluency. Every sentence you practice is a step towards confidence. True success is never sudden. It is shaped drop by drop, choice by choice, until one day the world sees what discipline quietly created. Thank you for listening to this story on Rise and Shine. We hope Antony and Tim's journey touched your heart and reminded you that the smallest choices today shape the largest outcomes tomorrow. If you want more such powerful stories filled with life lessons and English learning, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Rise and Shine. Together, let's rise a little higher, shine a little brighter, and keep building ourselves, story by story, word by word.